But of course, you can't just build monuments in other people's countries. So we had to go to the Amiens City Council, and we put the idea to the Amiens City Council. They loved it. They love Australians, New Zealanders and Canadians particularly, and the Brits in Amiens, because they believe that the Battle of Villers-Bretonneux that happened on Anzac Day 1918 was what saved Amiens, and that was fought by mainly Australians. So they have a very soft spot for Australians. And then when we captured the Amiens gun that was giving them such a hiding from, all that distance away, they really galvanised themselves to Australians. So when we said, excuse me, can we put a monument here? Well, they said, well, what sort of a monument do you want? And we said, well, we're engineers. And what we don't want is a bronze statue or a plaque up against the side of a wall. We want to do something useful. So what we'd like to do is build a military bridge across one of your crossings that's essential, that you can use. And it can double, both as a monument to the Corps of Australian Engineers of World War I, and also people can cross it and use it as a useful piece of, if you like, streetscape for Amiens. Well, again, the Amiens people were delighted. They found a crossing over the Somme River. It's called the Somme Canal in that area, but it joins the central business district of Amiens City to their magnificent botanical gardens. And so we designed a bridge, and the idea came up between myself and Brigadier Wayne Budd, who was the head of Corps of Engineers in those days, and we thought a Bailey Bridge looks military, and so we'll suggest that to the French. They loved it. There are a few little design things that we've got to do to make it safe so that kids and dogs don't fall through the hole in the Bailey Bridge, so it's quite safe for everybody to cross, and that the inclinations, if there were any, would accept wheeled vehicles such as wheelchairs and bicycles and things of that nature. And we finally came up with a place and a design, and of course the bridge was ordered, and we were supposed to have dedicated it on the 8th of August this year, but COVID-19 got in the way, and so it's going to be dedicated, it'll be built in 2021 and then dedicated on the 8th of August 2021. But of course there's always that big question mark. Who is going to pay for this bridge? And after having put out some tenders for people to give us quotes on supply of this bridge, we had one manufacturer, brand new bridge with a 20-year guarantee, who could deliver it and put it in place, and we could have it built and in place for 70,000 Australian dollars, and that's the cheapest bridge I've ever built in my life. But of course we've got to raise the money. So we've been fundraising now for a little while, and unfortunately what happened was that when our fundraising got started, it was just before the bushfires. And so we had a groundswell of support, but then when the bushfires struck, naturally and quite clearly, people were going to put their money towards bushfire relief and save the koala funds and so forth. And then, of course, along came COVID-19. People were losing their jobs everywhere, and we knew that our fundraising was going to stall, and it has. So we're in desperate need of some folk to make some donations towards this bridge. It'll be a bridge that'll be in place for hundreds of years to come. It'll be there for generations. It's going to be a monument like all the other monuments that we've got. And the beauty of Amiens, it's only 20 kilometres away from the Australian War Memorial at Villers-Bretonneux. So it's on your way to Villers-Bretonneux, and you can have a look at this bridge. Better still, you can touch it and cross it if you want to. And on the dedication day of the 8th of August 2021, the French, or the Amiens City Council, have given us approval to march with our slouch hats on and our whatever, either uniform or suit that you'd like to wear with all our medals, and also to wear the medals of our First World War heroes on our right-hand side, on our right breast, and to march down the Rue des Déportés, however you say that in French, into the Rue de la Résistance, which I think is about right. And on the way, we'll have a saluting dais where we'll salute those that have sponsored us, and of course the Amiens City Council. And then we'll get to the bridge, where we'll have a formal dedication of the bridge, and there'll be ribbon cutting at the bridge, followed by what's called a French reception, which I'm looking forward to. I've never been to one, but I'm told they're quite spectacular. to really inaugurate the bridge and wet the baby's head, as it were, going forward. So that's what's happening. And I'd just say that if anybody would